Welcome to Carolyn's History. There's no better place to talk about the Columbian Exchange than the kitchen. So the Columbian Exchange is the exchange of plants, animals, and diseases between the Old World and the New World. So here I've got our New World foodstuffs, right? Anything from pineapple to corn. So thinking about the New World is pretty easy. Just think Thanksgiving. And so your squash and pumpkins, definitely New World foods. Turkey, right? Turkey definitely comes from the New World. So those fat, funny, flightless little birds are pure American. In fact, Benjamin Franklin actually lobbied for the turkey to be the national bird. And I think that would be awesome in a really kind of hilarious way. But luckily, our forefathers went for something a little more majestic with the bald eagle. And now we can eat turkey on Thanksgiving and every day for lunch. Okay, potatoes. Okay, potatoes definitely helped out the old world. Good, nutritious, right? They're easy to grow in cold climates like Ireland and England. They grow in the ground. At first, our Europeans didn't really want to eat potatoes. It was kind of like this poor food, this commoner's food. But it will quickly become a staple in European diets. If you go to Europe today, French fries are everywhere, right? Who doesn't like a French fry? Tomatoes, right? These are New World foods. And so if you're thinking of Italy, right? Long, long history with the Romans. When I think Italian food, I'm thinking a nice marinara, a bolognese. They didn't have tomatoes until these were brought back from the New World. So not till, about the 1500. So tomatoes actually change Italian food a lot. Okay, corn. Corn is probably, along with turkey, one of the quintessential American foods. Corn is really going to save Europe and the old world from starving. So corn, it's easy to grow. It has a relatively short growing season, and it has a lot of nutrients, right? It's sweet, it's got fiber, it tastes good, vitamins, but enough carbs to kind of fill you up and keep you going. And if you look at your food labels, you're going to see corn's in everything from cereal to dog food, even corn syrup, right? They even make plastic out of it now. Pretty amazing. Now, corn, what's so great about it is you don't just eat it in the summer on the cob. It's really easy to dry out and you can eat it all year. So our Native Americans would bury corn in the sand, right? And so the kernels dry out. So you'll start to see some dried corn around Halloween and Thanksgiving. And so, right, you knock those dried kernels off. And I have my molcajete here, right? And you grind it up and you make cornmeal or masa. And so there you can make your corn tortillas, your tamales, cornmeal for cornbread, and even grits. So corn is definitely kind of one of those global foods that's going to help both the old and new worlds. Okay, save the best for last, chocolate. All right, I got to be careful because I actually already dipped into these wonderful little chocolate morsels. Okay, chocolate is from the New World. So your Mayans had kind of a cold chocolate drink. Your Aztecs would drink it hot, both ways, temperature and spicy. So chocolate was actually very valued, very prized. The Aztecs would use it as a form of currency. So if you could afford it, you'd have some cocoa beans in your pocket, to use as money. Now your Aztecs had a vast empire and kind of conquered, neighboring tribes, and they charged tribute or taxes, and they accepted cocoa beans for that, right? Now, the drink they would make, right? So it's chocolate, you roast the cocoa beans, grind it up. Now, they didn't necessarily use milk because they're not going to have dairy cows yet, but they would use corn. So either cornmeal or this kind of thick, pulpy, kind of corn drink, and to kind of spice it up, they put a little chile, right? A little chile. You can add some cayenne to your hot chocolate this winter and kind of recreate your own Aztec drink. Okay, but what's the problem with chocolate? There's no sugar, right? So when the Spanish come and they will bring sugar with them, they're going to add that to the chocolate, and we'll get our traditional, chocolate milk, chocolate cake, and it'll be much less bitter. Okay, so let's go to our old world. Okay, we're going to talk about sugar in a minute. Here's my Chick-fil-A cow, right? So cattle is one of the big imports coming from the old world. So those Texas Longhorns, they're actually from Spain. Horses, I don't have a horse here, but horses are definitely from the new world, old world, I'm sorry. And they're going to transform the new world. So think of your Plains Indians relying on the buffalo. They did that without horses until the 1500s. So the horses will definitely transform your lifestyles in the Americas. Okay, pigs. I've got my bacon here. It's like a mortal sin in my house to run out of bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? I believe now you can take your chocolate, right, and have your chocolate coated bacon and candy bacon. You can even have it for dessert. Oh my gosh. Okay, citrus fruits, right, coming from the old world. Flour, wheat, right? Wheat and a lot of other grains are from the old world. And so now the new world can have bread, you can have your biscuits and flour tortillas. So we can blame Europe on our gluten problems nowadays. Okay, big one, sugar. Sugar actually has a huge impact on the world. Okay, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, diabetes, right? Or stuck on eating junk food. That's a modern problem. Not to slight that any, but sugar has had an even bigger impact. Okay, so sugar, we think, or we know it started in India, right? And it needs a nice, warm, tropical climate to grow. And sugar cane kind of looks like bamboo, right? You could cut a piece off and suck that cane syrup, right, that sugary syrup out of it, and kind of get your own little sweet popsicle, if you will. Now, once Europeans get sugar, right, they like it because it makes everything taste better. If you, again, look at your food labels, everything has sugar in it. You even need sugar to make your bread, right, to activate that yeast, sugar or honey. Okay, so sugar, once we kind of like that, right, we want more and more of it. Now, what happens is the Europeans, they discovered the Caribbean islands, Central America, and they realized, hey, this is the climate to grow sugar, so let's start growing sugar. In the Caribbean, Brazil, right, Mexico, Central America will become these vast sugar plantations. Now, your Europeans would conquer the Native Americans on those islands and areas, and the Native Americans will quickly die off, either through disease, which I'll talk about in a minute, warfare, of course, and then slavery. Yes, our Europeans initially enslaved the Native Americans and tried to have them work their sugar plantations, but they soon began to die off and did not have enough people to work those plantations. So they quickly turned to African slaves, right? They're cheaper at this point, right? They can import a lot of slaves, and it's so bad. They worked hard, horrible conditions, and once the slaves died, they just keep importing more and import more, and so sugar actually is going to kind of fuel the slave trade, right? And keep that going and bring it to the Americas, unfortunately. So think twice about eating your sugar. Okay, disease, right? This would be probably one of the biggest negative impacts of the Columbian Exchange. So your Europeans have lots of diseases, right, that the Americas, they just never encountered. Big one is smallpox, right? That's going to kill a lot of Americans. The flu, measles, typhoid, typhus, all kinds of diseases, right? Now, if you're European, your great-grandma probably had smallpox, your grandma, your mom, so by the time you're born, you've got some antibodies, right? You've got a little bit of immunity. So when you get smallpox, you'll get it, right? You'll be very sick, but you probably won't die. So by now, Europeans have some resistance, and they have a really high success rate for surviving most of the diseases, right? Don't get me wrong. You definitely didn't want smallpox, and the chance of death was there. Now your Native Americans, they've never been exposed, so there's no natural immunities. They don't know how to, treat the diseases and, help keeping it from being so fatal. So, I mean, they're gonna die by the millions, right? As soon as these diseases are exposed to them, unfortunately, they don't have much to resist. Okay, so do the Americans have any diseases? A lot of people kind of don't realize that there's one big one that the Americans sent back to Europe, and that one's syphilis, right? So that disease we know or have been able to trace back to the Americas. Okay, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty hungry here, so I'm thinking maybe turkey sandwich and some chocolate for dessert. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.